country has gone to hell.
What is up, guys? Tyson Dela Cruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. Fox News Channel's Gutfeld landed the largest audience in program's history on Wednesday when former President Donald Trump made a guest appearance. For me, I thought it was a really good precursor for the New York rally because he was on point at the New York rally. Tens of thousands of people lined up the night before just to be part of this rally. Over 60,000 people requested tickets to this event. That is double Uniondale's population, which is 30,000. Gutfeld on Wednesday had more viewers than season premieres, CBS, Survivor, and ABC's Golden Bachelor, making it the most watched show in all of cable and broadcast prime time on Wednesday. And in this video, we're going to watch the episode. This will be my first time watching this episode, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Shout out to everybody watching. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button. Share it. Subscribe it. And from the clips that I saw, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Let's jump into the video.
First of all, I would like to apologize to tonight's audience and the viewers at home. We will not be airing the Steve Doocy cooking segment tonight. We apologize to Mr. Doocy, but you'll still be able to get his new book, Cooking with Crisco, for free. Instead, we have a very special show tonight, so let's welcome our guest. She's still quite humorous with a fetus in her uterus. New York Times best-selling author, book news contributor, Kat Timpf. She's from San Francisco, but still appreciates indoor plumbing. Co-host of Outnumbered, Emily Compagno. His deltoid can deflect an asteroid. New York Times best-selling author, comedian, and former NWA world champion, Tyrus. And he loves Diet Coke, but hates the woke, choosing this insanity over Sean Hannity. Let's crank it up to 11 for President 45 and 47. The man who at 6'2", fighting out of the red corner from Queens, New York, the 45th president of the United States, Donald J. Trump. There you go. So, Mr. P, how's your golf game?
Well, haven't been thinking about it too much lately. I always said golf is a very dangerous game.
It really is. It really is, especially if they're playing with you.
Yeah, that's true. That's
what? That was a mean joke.
Pretty sad.
Did you? If they had told you that the shooter was there, would you have tried to take him out with your 3-wood?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. If I knew. Actually, the Secret Service did a great job. They saw the barrel of a gun, big gun.
Yeah.
And it came out through bushes. And how many people would see that? First, you know, he really was very exceptional to have done it. And we've been going through a lot of it. We're getting very good at it, but I don't want to say that too loudly because we don't want to bring any jinxes along, Tyrus. Right? But it's
I mean, at least he could have yelled 4.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is not a good thing to have practice at.
No.
Like, you're getting really good at stopping assassinations of Donald Trump. It's great. But I want to ask you, so Kamala Harris and the president, Joe Biden, if he's still president, we don't know. They called you after you were you got shot at and to wish you well, to say all these nice things.
They did.
But they're the same people that moments before say you're a threat to democracy, an existential threat, worse than Hitler. Does that mean that everything they say is full of?
Well, you know, both of the shooters, one is dead and the other one is in prison. And it was really great work, again, by Secret Service. And a woman who saw somebody running and running for the car because he was caught, and the Secret Service agent started shooting at him, didn't do any talking, said just, that's a barrel of a gun, started shooting, which was amazing. That he saw it, and then he started shooting. And so this man is running to the car, and a woman is a woman, of course. Woman's always a woman, right?
We just found out,
No, but
I love how he commends the Secret
how
Service.
smart. Who would do this? She sees somebody running, and she didn't like the way he looked. He looked very suspicious, and followed him and took the car, parked it right behind his, and started taking pictures of the license plate. Who would do that?
A Karen.
And then sent the picture to the sheriff, who's a great sheriff of Palm Beach County. and sent the pictures to the sheriff's office, and they got him in a high-speed chase down the highway.
Yeah.
But who would do that? I mean, I
Yeah.
said, out of 1,000 incidents, would that ever happen? And they said, very rarely, a thing like that. So she's very much of a heroine, right? Heroine.
Yeah. You know, it blows my mind, like how you take these events so not lightly, but it's almost casually. The way, like, I get more angry, you know, when my pant pocket gets caught on a doorknob. I get angrier about that than you get angry about getting shot at. It doesn't. How do you process that?
Well, number one, do I have a choice?
Yeah.
Right? What am I gonna do? Right?
Yeah.
Do we have a choice? But you know, it's interesting. I was thinking a lot about it over the last period of time since Butler, and being president is a very dangerous job, because with a race car driver, that's a dangerous job. It's like 0.1% die.
Mm-hmm.
With a bull rider, I think bull riding looks pretty scary, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit more than that die.
Mm-hmm.
With a president, what is it, 6% or 7%? It's the most dangerous profession there is. So if you want to be president, I have a lot of friends that wanted to run. They're thinking about maybe not doing it. But here's the only good thing is that it's always a consequential president that gets shot at.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, so far, I've been very lucky, or something is greater than all of us.
Ooh.
It is. Something is up there. Someone is up there, maybe watching over us.
I think he's voting for you.
Yeah. It's funny. I always thought the most dangerous job was feeding The View. But you bring up God, and you've almost been killed twice. Do you think more about your own mortality and what happens after you move on?
Yeah, not about mortality, but I do think more about God, because, okay, Butler was really the greatest of all miracles. If I'm not looking over there, and I mean a full turn, exactly 90 degrees, I wouldn't be here right now. Mm-hmm. And your ratings would be a little bit lower, perhaps.
Yeah. We'd have kill me there.
We have to tell the story of how we first met. The ratings over. Remember that one week he just played that thing? But I do think about that because the chart, it was basically an immigration chart. We had our lowest numbers that we've ever had in immigration. And I very rarely use it, maybe 15, 20%. It's always on my left, and it's always at the end of a speech. So now I said, bring down the chart right at the very beginning, almost like the first sentence of the speech. Bring down that chart, because immigration is such a big thing now, with, you know, our country being basically taken over by Venezuela and lots of other people. So I said, bring down the chart, and the chart drops down, and I go, look at those numbers, and I look over to the right, and ping, and that was not. I knew something was definitely wrong, and it was a mess. I touched. I said, that's unusual.
Remember when you showed it to me?
I showed it.
Yeah, you showed it to me. You said, I know people aren't going to believe this, so Gutfeld, take a look at my ear.
That's right. You know, we met in at the convention.
Yeah.
And I said, who am I going to show it to? You know, we have a lot of guys. You know, they'll say it didn't exist. And I actually did have such confidence in him. And he's really a very special guy, talented guy, good guy, great guy. And I said, you know, if I'm going to show it, let's do it with Gutfeld.
Yes.
That's amazing. It's amazing.
Because it happened right after.
Yeah, how did you get him to see the top of your ear?
Well, I sat in a low chair.
Okay, thank you.
But you know what? It was true. And I took the bandages off very carefully.
Yeah.
And I showed him. He said, that's nasty.
Yes.
That was nasty. But it healed
I kind of
up.
wanted to touch it, but I knew I would have been tackled. And I would have enjoyed it. But it's interesting to see the response to this second attempt. Every time you're under a bigger threat, the media still blames you even more.
Yeah.
It's almost as though they don't see their own role in this. What do you make? Have you just basically accepted this as a fact?
I think so, yeah. Look, the media is extremely dishonest, extremely corrupt, actually. Look at the debate. I walked off. I said, that's debate. You know, they said I'm the GOAT in debates, because I had a lot of debates and I became president. And the GOAT means greatest of all time. He's a GOAT. But what a great stage. And I walked off that stage and I thought I had the best debate. And I was very unfairly treated by the anchor. I'm not fans of those guys anymore. And his hair was better 5 years ago than it is now. Okay. That happens. That happens with the clock.
I mean, who among us?
That happens with the clock. But you know, they came at me on everything like crime.
Yeah.
I said that crime is rampant. He said crime is down. I said crime is down. Who would think it's without even knowing? And I was right. The following day, DOJ announced numbers. I don't know who it was in DOJ, but somebody over there likes me. That crime is up 45%, murders up, numbers like you wouldn't even believe. And anybody would know that without even seeing charts. But it turned out to be a false attack. They attacked the bloodbath. That was referring to the auto industry.
Right.
You know all these things.
Yeah.
Charlottesville was totally debunked by everybody, including Laura. Laura did a whole show on it, how it's so ridiculous.
And even Snopes, which is a left.
That's right.
Site.
They even said.
Yeah.
But all of them, and they didn't correct her once, and they corrected me everything I said practically. And I think 9 times or 11 times. And the audience was absolutely, they went crazy. And the real, I walked off, I said, that was a great debate. I loved it. You know, you got a lot of people watch. I guess we had 75 million people watching, something like that. And you have to do well. You can't do badly. For instance, Biden didn't do so well in the previous debate because I had the 2 debates. I had one. We actually had 2 debates. You know, I had one against a man, and then they said, he's not doing well. Take him out, put in a new one. And if she doesn't do well, I wonder if they're going to take her out. Just keep putting it. Let's see if we can get it right eventually. No, but a thing like that's never happened before. It's never, you know, it's like a fighter. He knows more about fighting, but I love the fighting. We love Dana White, all those guys. Dana is great.
Well, your
right?
history in boxing is second to none.
I've more Mike Tyson fights than anybody. Yep. Mike is great, and they're all great. And they're, you know, amazing people, really. It's a very hard thing to be a fighter. Number one, you have to be able to take hundreds of shots to the face within a couple of rounds and enjoy going out for the 5th round.
Yes.
You know, there aren't a lot of guys. A lot of great athletes have tried to be fighters. It doesn't work out so well. Very rarely does it work out. But this was something that was a very special moment. I thought this was a tremendous debate. And when you look at it, you know, it's interesting. Now that they're reviewing it, it was all word salad from her. The first question, I said, what kind of an answer is that? But the fake news said, oh, she did well. No matter what you do, if I were Winston Churchill, he was a great debater, by the way, and an elegant debater, if I were Winston Churchill, they would say, well, he was okay, but he wasn't special tonight. That was the kind of stuff.
You were exactly the same as the previous debate. That's what, if you look at it, there was,
I think so.
Yeah, there was no difference.
I actually wanted that attitude. You know, I've had different attitudes, right? Yeah. And you never know about debate. It's a little like Mike Tyson said. He said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And there's a lot of truth to that, right?
No, yeah. I mean, you walked in, you caught 3 before you even said hello to you.
Well, I mean, I had people telling me that I'm wrong about things where I'm totally right. I was right about just about all of that stuff, that they were correcting me. And I think my only regret is that I wanted to be elegant and I didn't want to go after the anchors. I wish I did, in a way.
Yes. That's our job. We took care of them.
All right, we got to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back with more from the future president, Donald Trump.
It's coming your way. Hey, hey. It's video of the day.
Celebs can't quit Donald Trump. Roll it.
You thought about the possibility he might use the power of the federal government against you personally?
Yeah, I have, but I'm confident in the fact that he's coming after you first.
Clooney should get out of politics and go back to television.
I will if he does.
I don't hate the guy. I hate the people who vote for him. I think they're stupid. I don't think I do. I'll be honest with you. I have no respect for you.
You could be president. Do you ever think about anything like that?
No.
Really, never?
No.
Why?
I wouldn't make a
You're
good
in jail.
president.
You don't think you'd be good?
I wouldn't really
He's
pass
in jail.
any of the things that you have to pass to, but I guess Trump did it.
Yeah, no. You would be a Boy Scout like a man. Yeah.
Well, that didn't age well for either of them. So, Mr. Trump, the thing that I think my theory is that famous people don't like it when their fame is put in proper perspective, when it's dwarfed by somebody with more fame. So they prefer to be on the hierarchy of fame. They want to be on top. I notice a lot of these guys, it's an emotional response to the fact that you're bigger more well known. Does that make sense?
Well, I know some of them, and like Howard, I was on Howard Stern show as much as anybody, and he was great at that time, and then he went woke.
Yeah.
And since he's gone woke, his ratings have gone down the tubes, and he sort of went anti-Trump for a couple of reasons. But I was on his show a lot.
Yeah.
In fact, he has a best of. Did you ever see the best of Howard Stern? I don't want to promote it necessarily, but and I was there for just about all of them, the best of. We had good shows. It was good, but he's changed, and he doesn't do the ratings anymore.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have to. He's almost finished. Kat, do you remember Howard Stern?
No, but you've been on every show. I mean, you've been on TV a lot.
A lot of shows.
I mean, would you rule out? I'm not saying now, but would you ever rule out doing reality TV again? Like, what about hosting Love Island?
So I had The Apprentice for 12 years.
Oh, I know.
14 seasons, but 12 years, a lot of time. They wanted to renew me for 5 years. They were all set to do it, and I didn't want to do it. I said I wanted to run for president. Mark Burnett, who's a great guy, and the producer and all of the people from NBC, everybody came up to see me to talk me out of running. They said it's not possible to win. Nobody's ever done that. I mean, and nobody ever gives up primetime show. It was a big hit, and they wanted to do a 5-year extension. I said no. That's actually when I knew I was going to do it. And I mean, I love doing The Apprentice. It was so successful. The big question is, did it make a difference? Would I have been president? A lot of people say they created this guy from The Apprentice, and I don't know if that's true because they chose me because of the success.
I think it was your chemistry with Bret Michaels.
Yeah, Bret Michaels was a character. We had great characters,
yes,
and we learned a lot about. I mean, we had Dennis Rodman was great.
Oh, he was fantastic.
And we had tremendous characters on the show. We had a lot of. I mean, everybody was helped basically by being on The Apprentice. But I just wanted to do it. I saw what was happening with the country. The country was going bad. And now what they've done with the border and the wall and the whole thing, I could have built an extra 200 miles. I built much more than I said I was going to build, and it worked. I had the Mexican government giving us 28,000 troops. We had so many Mexican troops, they had no choice. They had to. Otherwise, I said, I'm going to put tariffs on your cars that you stole from. They stole 32% of our car industry, okay? Which is not, we'll get it back. Don't worry about it. But, I really felt I wanted to do it because we can make our country. The Make America Great Again is such a great MAGA, is such a great tag. And I watched Biden where he was very angry at MAGA. He said, we've got to stop MAGA. And I'm saying, it's Make America Great Again.
Yes.
It sort of doesn't work so well, right? Make America Great Again. And that's what we'll do. If you think of it, we have 21, I believe it's 21. They say 16, but what difference? I mean, it's a lot of people, more people than any country could sustain. 21 million people, many come out of jails and prisons, slight difference between one being a little bit more harsh. They come out of mental institutions and insane asylums. They come out of terrorist schools. They come literally out of schools, but they're terrorists. We have people coming from gangs, the worst gangs in the world, MS-13, considered the meanest gang. They cut people up. They don't want to use guns. They attacked 2 young 16-year-old beautiful girls walking to school. They cut them up with a knife. They didn't want to shoot them because it wasn't painful. They both died. And these people are coming out into our country. And now you look at what's happening in like Aurora in Colorado. Venezuelan gangs are taking over the real estate. They're becoming real estate developers. And they have...
Do they get little cards?
They have whatever they want.
Like a little real estate card?
Yeah. They have their little card is a bullet.
Mr. President, can I ask you a question? With talking about the border, not just all the young military-age men that are coming across this country, the fentanyl that's coming across this country.
It's terrible.
If you were in office, would you consider taking importation of fentanyl as a terrorist act? Because if you count it under terrorism, then our Department of Defense can get involved. We give our law enforcement a break.
Correct. Well, and you can even go further than that.
Yeah, I mean, you could send pictures of their mansions to certain individuals in Mexico.
That was a boss move when he did that.
These are really rich people. These are the cartel people. These are really rich. Look, we can play games and we can be nice and we can be smart. You're never going to, I set up blue ribbon committees. Friends of mine, could I get on a committee? They didn't know the first thing about it. They don't know about El Chapo. They don't know about, these are very smart, hardened people. And, you know, I'm setting up a blue ribbon committee with socialites from New York and California. It's ridiculous. And they don't even want to talk about it. They talk about it for 2 minutes, then they start talking about society. The only way you're going to stop this is the death penalty for drug dealers. I don't know if this country is ready for it, but if you think about it, each drug dealer on average kills 500 people on average. He or she, drug dealer, kills 5. I know so many families who have lost a son or a daughter or parents even to fentanyl. And I had a deal worked out with China, with President Xi directly, that he was going to give. You know, China has the death penalty. I said to him, do you have a drug problem? When I first met him, he looked at me like, what a stupid question.
Exactly.
He said, no drug problem. I said, well, what do you do? Death penalty, immediate death penalty. And I said, that sounds, he said, without it, I talked to him a lot about it. He said, without it, you know, China was a drug-loaded country years ago. Other countries, much smaller, would take it over because they were all
wasted,
drugged out with the opium and the poppy, and they had a big problem. But they execute drug dealers. They have absolutely no drug problem. Singapore has no drug problem. And it's not nice to talk about, but it's the only way you're going to solve the problem. You're never going to have, now we got it down to great numbers, the lowest numbers, but the wall helped, a lot of things helped. But in terms of getting a drug-free country, you can't have that unless you have the death penalty for the dealers.
All right, we got to take a break.
Taking it as a maybe on Love Island.
All right. Up next, media tools. Think Kamala rules.
A story in 5 words.
Kamala says some more nonsense. Roll it.
Hello to all my divine 9 brothers and sisters. And my soror.
It was school photo day. You remember what that's like? You really ought to understand at a very deep level how much your words have meaning.
A future where we can see what is possible unburdened by what has been. We can see what is possible unburdened by what has been.
Unburdened by what has been.
Well, do you? There's an objective crowd. All right. It's hard to kind of figure out what she's saying. Why doesn't anybody ever ask a follow-up question? Like, what do you mean?
Well, that should have happened in the debate.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, doesn't do interviews. You would not see her come onto the show. I can tell you right now.
Nope.
We ask her now. Come on this show, Kamala. We'll have a box of wine.
She doesn't like. She doesn't like doing interviews.
Yeah.
And she's not knowledgeable about economy and various things. And I think it would be a problem. But you know what? He was pretty much gone. They said, Joe, it's over. You're getting out. And he said, I'm not getting out. You're getting out. And they were very nasty, 25th Amendment and everything else. He got out. And they put her in. And she somehow, a woman, somehow she's doing better than he did.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine it can last because so weak on people coming in. You know, she's the one that she was the border czar. Yeah. She allowed 21 million people to come in. The thing we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And many of these people are the wrong people for this country. You have murderers, you have killers, you have prisoners. Prisons are being emptied out all over the world, not just in South America. And they're coming in. She allowed that. And I think eventually people are going to figure it out.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the thing is, she's got the entire media doing PR for her. Sure. So it's like no one asks follow-up questions. No one bothers to fact check her. Emily, do you have a question? You seem like you do.
I do. So, Mr. President, my question is about voting bloc strategy. And it's that we know there are 90 million evangelicals in this country, 40 million of whom don't vote, and 15 million of whom aren't even registered to vote. So what's our plan to harness those votes for you in November?
It's such an incredible statement question because they're great people. They're 95% for me, but they don't vote, meaning they don't vote proportionally. If they would vote, nobody could beat you. And I have total support from evangelical Christians and from other groups. I'll tell you another group that doesn't vote, gun owners. They don't vote. The NRA endorsed me totally every time, but they endorsed me totally. But you look at the number of people, I don't know what it is. They're rebellious or something. I don't know what it is. But evangelicals, if they voted, there wouldn't even be an election. You could cancel it. If the gun owners voted, I mean, the gun owners are just a massive proportion. If they voted, but they vote like at 16% or something. If the people, because they want to take your guns away, she wants to confiscate your guns. She wants to take them away. And, you know, she's now trying to get out of it. So she had policies that she's now changed 14 policies about fracking. She was totally against for 15 years fracking. Now, all of a sudden, a short while ago, she came out in favor of fracking. Same thing with guns. She said, no, I don't want to take your guns. I don't want to. For 20 years, she's wanted to take your guns. All of a sudden, a short while ago, she said, no, I don't want to. One thing about a politician, they always revert back to where they were at the beginning, because that's what their natural inclination is. Her father is a Marxist professor. I mean, that's the way it is. And he's currently, and I don't know what happened to the father, but we haven't seen him. I'd love to be able to talk to him. You know, Barack Hussein Obama's brother is supporting Trump. This Governor Walz, his brother and his whole family is supporting him. In fact, they want to make contributions to my campaign.
Well, to be fair, a lot of brothers are supporting President Trump.
That's true.
Lay up.
That's what we do over here.
It is funny. Waltz is a strange.
Oh, he's strange.
He is strange. Him and I are the same age. How does he look so much younger?
No, he's a strange guy.
Strange.
You know, he called up years ago. I was in the White House, and he said, my house is being surrounded by people with American flags. I said, is that a good thing or a bad thing? He said, I think they're going to attack me. But this was during the riots and everything else. They were MAGA people. You know, they like the American flag, all right? And they also had Trump. And I said, how do you know? There were about 15,000, he said. He said, could you put out a word like that I'm your friend? I don't even know him, but that's the only time I ever spoke to him. And if you look back long ago, tweets, before Truth, tweets, long ago, I put out a statement. He's a good man, the governor. He's on our side. I didn't know him, but I didn't want him to get hurt. And everybody put down their flags and they left. Yes. He said it was a miracle. He said it was a miracle. I didn't want him to get hurt.
Scared by the American flag.
They
say he's not a nice guy. I would have had fun with that. Like, call the barbecue, go outside.
Yeah. He remembers it, actually. He was a little bit nervous about things. They had one guard. He said, we have one guard at the door. It was the mansion for the state. Then he said, we have one guard at the door and you have 15,000 people out there. And I'm a little bit, I don't know, they look violent. I said, are they carrying the American flag? They're not going to be violent.
Yes.
But I put out a statement and they just went back. It was sort of a beautiful thing in a lot of ways.
Yeah. That's a happy ending and the kind we like. All right, coming up, Free Thinkers Unite to join Trump's fight.
We got another clip for you. It's video of the day. Hey, part 2.
All right. Okay. Our second video of the day comes to us from RFK Jr. During a recent event while campaigning for President Trump, he was asked what he thought about Trump as a person, and he shared this amazing story.
I've known President Trump for many years, and on 2 occasions I sued him. He was trying to build golf courses up in the New York City reservoir watershed. And I sued him successfully to stop that. And at one point, my wife, she wanted to go to Palm Beach for the weekend to see my mom over Easter. And I said, I want to buy tickets for all the kids. And she said, what if I find a free ride? And I said, okay. Then she said, I found a free ride. And I said, who? And she said, Donald Trump. And I said, I'm suing him. And she said, he told me he knows you're suing him, but it's okay anyway. And we ended up flying down with him, and I had a great time. I still sued him. And
It's such an interesting story because you kind of separate the friendship from the legal stuff. It's like, yeah, you sue me, I get it, that's what you do. Yeah. But I'm not, like, you want to use my plane, fine. I mean, some people would not understand that.
No, I think I have been able to do that. Otherwise, I would have nobody to talk to at all. It was, Greg, it was interesting. I endorse people, and my endorsement record is very good. But sometimes I'll endorse people that said horrible, horrible things about me. And people say, do you have any idea what he said? And I said, you know, if I did that, I would never be able to endorse anybody, because when I first ran, everybody was violently opposed to me. So I would never be able to endorse anybody. And I like to endorse
said
people
terrible
if I think
things.
they're good. Honestly, you weren't so good at the beginning.
I believe we have the tape. That's right. I'm making my move, Gutfeld. Roll it.
No, but I want to bring up, this is a friend of mine has this theory. He says that your campaign is like a pirate ship. You have this eclectic band of supporters that are individuals and different, but they're a pirate ship. But the issue with the pirate ship is every now and then you get a stowaway. So you get an odd person like a Scaramucci or an Amorosa. You know, it's like, when you have a pirate ship of all these different people, how do you have any kind of control? Or is that just the risk?
Well, like the people that you mentioned, I don't know them very well, but the people that you mentioned, they all want to come back. They all want to come back. And when you don't take them back, I don't want them back. Certain people I don't want back. When you don't take them back, they'll say anything. They make up stories.
Yeah.
They make up stories at levels that you wouldn't believe. Stories that bear no resemblance, that don't exist. It's like they're storytellers. But when you don't take people back, and they think of it as a glamorous life, I think, you know, my whole thing, the sphere, I don't think of it. I just work really hard. We have to win this election to save our country. If we don't win this election, I really believe our country is either finished or very close to it, because we have to turn it. And if we don't turn it and turn it now, it's going to be too late to turn it later. I really believe that.
It is interesting. On their side, they have people like Lynn Cheney, you know, and
Lynn Cheney.
Liz Cheney.
Yes.
No,
like,
Liz Cheney's rough, but her older sister, Lynn Cheney, she's a monster.
No, it's
remember?
Lon
She's
Chaney.
chasing us with a broken beer bottle.
Lon Chaney.
Oh.
But I mean, you have Elon Musk, you have RFK Jr., you have Tulsi Gabbard. These are all really strong-willed
They're
people.
great people.
Are you saying he has a diverse cabinet?
No, we have great people. A thing just happened about 10 minutes before I walked in. The Teamsters, for many, many decades, always automatically support the Democrats.
Right.
This year, they refused to do it. And they took a poll, and we got 60% in the poll in the Teamsters. And they're not going to support the Democrats this year. They're going to, I guess, remain neutral. But that was sort of a big event. Nobody's ever expected a thing like that to happen. They actually took a poll of the Teamsters, of the people, the workers, the people that really do the job, and they're good. I've had many of them work for me with the concrete stuff, you know, the frames. They put up the frames. They drive the truck. So they just announced they're not going to support the Democrats. They're going to remain neutral.
That individual poll was like 10-1 average from employees.
We had a tremendous advantage with the people. And I think the people that run it, Sean O'Brien, who's the top guy, is a great guy. But I think they said, you know, how can we support this person, meaning them?
Yeah.
But they have for decades. I think 5, 6 decades. They've never. I mean, it's been many, many years since they supported a Republican or did this.
You're seeing an interesting flip in, like, where the Democrats used to be the party of the people.
Yeah.
And the Republicans were the country clubbers. Since you came along, it's flipped. It's really interesting, and people go, but he's a billionaire. But it's a billionaire from Queens. That doesn't count.
Well, you know, one of the nicest things that's happened to me as a politician is that I get most of my money from people that average $61. Think of it. And that's never happened to a Republican before. It happens to Democrats, but it happened with Bernie Sanders. That would be the best example. But it's a tiny fraction of the money that I get. We get a lot of money from people. They average $61. And those people all vote. Those people, they get, you know, we have some people that'll pay us like $25 a month every single month. They won't miss it. You know, they're very committed. There's never been a Republican where that happened, too, where you get your money. It's called the small money. The small money is ultimately big money because there's so many people contributing. So, you know, that's like a great honor for me.
Yeah, I'm like that. It's something I always sign up for and then forget.
Well, that's
like Paramount.
Can I please ask a question, just because I'm never going to be allowed in a room with the president again?
Sure.
Are there aliens at Area 51?
You know, I'll tell you, it's a funny thing because I think that might be a question that I get more than any question. It is the craziest thing. So we have that so-called area. They consider it like a sacred area. And I will say this. I don't think I'm a believer, but I've interviewed pilots that look, I like Tom Cruise, but better than Tom Cruise. The blonde crew cuts, the whole, and this, yes, sir. And they were in the Oval Office, 3 or 4 pilots. These are not people that make up stories. These are, they said, all I know, sir, is there was a round object that was going 4 times faster than my F-22, which is a very fast plane. And it wasn't, you know, it shouldn't have been. It was round, sir. They have seen, I mean, 4 or 5 guys I've interviewed, solid people, great pilots for the U.S. Air Force, etc. They've seen things that they cannot explain.
Follow-up
So there's
question.
something.
Also a maybe.
Follow-up question, Mr.
Maybe.
President. Follow-up. If in fact there are aliens, would you be willing to put tariffs on them to help us with the economy? They're not just going to fly down in here.
We're going to have more fun because we got questions from the audience coming up. We got some questions from the audience. They were just submitted. Evangeline has a good one. What is something people would be surprised to learn about you?
Oh, that's a dangerous question.
What do we not know
I got a
about
call
it?
from a couple of people. Could you please be careful on this show? You're going to have a good time. We don't need scandals. We're leading in the polls. Everyone. We don't need any scandals. So maybe I shouldn't answer that question.
How about this? Do you wear pajamas?
I don't.
Okay.
Do you own blue jeans?
Do you own blue jeans?
I have.
He sleeps in the suit.
I have a very old pair that I saw. I doubt I fitted it.
Because we were talking about this. I've never seen you at the beach. We see Biden all the time at the beach. Do you ever sunbathe?
I'll tell you this. I see Biden too. You know, all he had. Somebody told him he looks great at the beach in a bathing suit. And I think it's terrible when you see a president lying on the beach on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and he's stone cold out.
Yes.
He's out.
Yes.
Who can sleep in front of cameras that are rolling?
In the heat. Totally. In the heat. You only sleep like 3 hours, right?
Well, I don't sleep much. I'd like to sleep more, but probably 4 hours, 5 hours.
Do you get a good sleep? A solid?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and nobody sleeps well. And everybody's always trying to find the answer.
Well, that's the purpose of this next election, so we can sleep well again. That's the whole, that's the whole thing. But for me, you know, I can't wait that one day I'm able to tell my grandchildren that the president of the United States stole my seat. And Mr. President, if you're going to sit, oh wow! But thank you for WrestleMania 4 and 5, by the way. Thank you very much. But if you're going to sit in that chair, if you're going to do the Tyrus experience, you have to do it right because you are the people's champion. Mr.
Oh,
Trump.
wow.
And on behalf of the people of America,
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Oh, that's cool.
Now I'm really. That's a good one.
It's the man who makes all the professional ones.
Beautiful, yeah.
There you go. It's a crowd.
No, but this is the real one. This is a real deal. This
Yeah.
No, I'm going to give a fake belt to the next president.
We're more used to that. That's good. Thank you, Tyrus.
You are the people's champion.
You're going to have to wear that on the golf course for safety reasons.
That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah. All right. Well, have you ever been fired, like in a regular job?
Well, you know, I went to work for my father out of school, and he was a tough guy, very tough, but he liked the job I did. So I have never experienced being fired.
Mm-hmm.
Fired a lot of people on The Apprentice, but fired a lot of people. But no, I've never experienced it. I wouldn't like to experience it, actually.
Yeah. I was fired 3 times so far.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Well,
you know, we had, it's true. He didn't treat me well at all.
I know. I saw him the whole time. I was like, look at this guy.
Early
He's so
on.
mean.
No, early on. And I actually met him once at Mar-a-Lago, I think. And I met you at the ballroom. They were doing a big charity. I said hello. I was very nice. But he never treated me well. And then I agreed to do an interview, and it was supposed to be just a quick. I said, look, this guy I can't stand the guy. They set up an interview, and I said, it'll be like for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, something quick. And they set up this whole thing. And the interview lasted for 2.5 hours because we got along. We had an unbelievable chemistry. And I can honestly say, I really think, because I love what he says. He says, look, maybe he's not a nice guy, but he gets everything done. Would you rather have a nice guy where the country goes to hell? But I do. I get it done. And I think I'm a nice guy, too. I like to be a nice guy. But he did this interview. So, and I'm going to take total credit for the show. Okay?
Yes.
No, credit almost equal to you guys. It was just chemistry. We got along incredibly well. And that was it. And then he did a 5-parter.
Yes.
Every night he had Trump on, and he got ratings that were through the roof. And honestly, his ratings were okay, but they weren't setting the. He got ratings that were through the roof. He was the #1 show of the week. It was the great. And you know what? It never stopped.
Yeah.
So I take full credit.
Take full credit.
We're going to run this one a few times.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
That was a good episode. I really enjoyed that episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Let me know what you guys thought about that. It's really cool to see the human side. We all have a human side, and it's really neat because, again, like I said earlier on in this video, it was a great precursor to the New York rally. We got to see the human side of Donald Trump, and we don't see that. We don't see that from the Harris and Walz campaign. We don't. We see this scripted, puppeteered, master bull crappery. Let me know what you guys think about the episode. Did you guys enjoy the episode? Because I certainly did. Drop your comments down below. Smash the like button. Share, subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you on the next one.